station. En dan doorrijden dan. Snel rijden dan kan het rijden. Alkmaar. Dan Alkmaar.
Well, we're here in the Molly. It's well, a squatters bar, although it's not been squatted anymore. It's been legalized, I think, in '95, and but we have
We're still doing the same things as before.
And, the name is Molly Chaot in Dutch, and Molly is coming from Molotov cocktail, and Chaot is Dutch for chaotics, and the people who like to go on to riot with the cops, they were calling in the 80s the chaotics, so that's why the name.
Every evening we have a bar. And on Monday evenings there's the squatting hour, helping people squat their homes. And every first Wednesday of the month, the second Wednesday of the month, there's feminist evening. Every first Friday of the month there's the giveaway shop. Every first Sunday of the month they do cooking for Food Not Bombs here. And every Thursday we have the People's Kitchen, and that's cooking for €3 for 3 courses. And all the other evenings, except for Saturday, that's the bar.
Sunday non-smoking.
And Sunday is non-smoking.
The prices of the beer is here very low, because we don't pay any taxes and things. And we make a little bit profits, but all the profit we make is going to groups, to groups who want to make actions and things, squat actions, animal rights actions, and all kind of stuff. Yeah. So all the profit we make, we put it back in the movement again. Yes, I'm one of the older persons of the bar group. I'm involved since 1982 from the Molly. The Molly was squatted for the first time in November 1979. So it's next November, it's existing 25 years, and it's the oldest squatting cafe of Holland. So we are very proud of that.
Well, it used to be squatted, and then there was made a deal with the housing corporation who owns the building, and now we rent it for cheap. and that's the way it used to be, but now there's also this, well, sort of the city council wants us to have a permit, because they say we're a bar, and then you have to have a permit, and that's what we're busy now, getting the permit.
For me, I don't like to get permits, but I'm a minority in a bar group.
Yeah, some people are really against it, but against doing anything, dealing with city council. That's and I think all the others see the need for doing well, for at least complying in at least possible way, but it's not enough to keep your space active. The things we have to do some rebuilding because there were some things that didn't work up to the standards of the city council has for bars, and we have to become sort of a legal forum, to find a legal forum in which we can operate to apply for a permit. And it was a bit difficult because we're a collective and there's no such thing in law as a collective, so we now have sort of formalized the collective into a I don't know how you call that in English.
Kind of club, but
Yeah, sort of a club thing with members, sort of membership, and that every member has a vote, and that's the same as it's sort of. We keep everything the same, but we formalize it.
The Molly has a very big history. There were a lot of riots here in the neighborhood, and yeah, we had a lot of problems with police and with fascists who are smashing the windows. It was a lot of money. That's the benefit that we are renting now, because the owner has now our glass assurance. So
almost every Sunday we do a squatting action, because we squat here on Sundays, because then most people don't work on Sundays, so then they have the most time. And if we have a squatting action, we have a meeting place there, everybody meets in a big group, somebody tells what is going to happen, and then we go there. And while the people break open the door, other people stand around it and protect the breakers from being seen, because that's the only illegal part, breaking open the door, because that's damaging some property. So, but if the door's open, the stuff for breaking goes away, and we call the police and they come check if the place is really empty.
Well, in Amsterdam there are at the moment
5 squatting hours. It's also especially one who is targeting students, because they're one of the groups who really needs houses. And there's people, if you want to go and squat a house, you come there, they give you information. They keep a record of all the houses in their neighborhood that are empty, or at least that are people busy to squat it. So if you see a house that's empty, you go to squatting hour, they check if somebody else is already busy with it, and if they know something about it, and they I don't know, assist you in finding out the things you need to know before you can squat houses. Because squatting houses in Holland is legal if the house has been empty for more than a year. So you have to find some things out about the owner and about permits for renovation, because you need to know how long the house has been empty and why, and what the owner is going to do with it. And the people in Squatting Hour help you with that, and if you have checked out everything, they also help you with breaking open the door and talking to the police and that kind of thing, and also with the legal stuff that comes after it, because owners can get you out again with a court case, and they also assist you with that.
Yeah, we are hoping to get some the permits. I don't know when it's happened. We are putting it for in the future as long as possible, and yeah, but we hope to exist for a very long time.
Squatted in November 1999. It used to be an old film academy, but they moved to a new building, and then they wanted to demolish the place and make a bicycle path where we are right now. So we squatted it almost immediately after 2 weeks of standing empty, which is illegal in the Netherlands. And we combined that with a vigorous political campaign to avoid eviction. And for a year it was not clear if we were going to succeed one way or another. Just the only thing was we were already inside and we still were not evicted. And after a year the political campaign really started to kick off, because we got much more support from the central government in Amsterdam. And they put a lot of pressure on the owners of the building to allow us to stay here. And so after 2 years or so we negotiated a contract for 5 years, to stay here for 5 years, and we got a grant, a subsidy to renovate the building, like fix the roof, put central heating, and make the place fire safe.
Okay, cool.
So since November 1999 we organized different things here in the building. There's an organic vegan restaurant. There is a sound studio for recording and rehearsing. There is a dance studio. There's a multifunctional studio for theater, concerts and parties. There's a dark room for people to use. There's an exhibition room. There are different offices for counter-information, magazines and other things. There's an animal defense group in the building. There's a lot of private ateliers for people, for artists to work in. So these are the scale of activities that we have here. Okay. Well, inside the Film Academy there's about 20 people who participate in the regular meetings and in the daily organizing of everything, who are participate in the whole decision-making process of everything, because it's a collective process. But then the different activities, they're small, different subgroups organizing, for example, the cinema or the vegan restaurant or the studios. And these subgroups, they always use a lot of volunteers as well. So in the end, there's a big number of people involved in running the whole place. There's so many different activities. For the parties, we always have maybe thousands of people. For the smaller activities like the doka, then you talk about dozens of people. For the restaurant, it is already going for 10 years, also in previous squads. Yeah, I don't know how many, I don't know how to answer that question, but we have many people using the place. Well, it's already been going for half a year and it's still quite a mess. It will take us a good while longer to finish up, but we made the building fire safe basically. We put in new fire escapes in the front and the back, and we made drastic changes within the structure of the place so that we are, for fire regulations, we are allowed to have more than 100 people in the different public spaces. Because before we ran into problems with the fire department about this. There's some strong regulations about fire safety, and we didn't meet those norms, and now we do. We did make sure that on the ground floor everything has disabled access, so you can get with a wheelchair, you can get everywhere on the ground floor, and there will be a toilet also for disabled people, a toilet and a changing room for babies, for nappies. The rest of the building, it's much more difficult because to install a new lift, it's just way too expensive. We don't have that kind of money. So we're talking about hundreds of thousands of euros, excluding maintenance. So there's no way that we can finance that. We squatted it after it was empty for 2 weeks, which gave us a 429, which is an eviction order according to Dutch law. And so for us it became immediately from day one, it was absolutely necessary to seek a dialogue. While it was not necessary for the owner to even listen to us, we really had to force them to listen to us, to enter into a dialogue and to legalize us. If we didn't do that, then we would have been immediately evicted. So it has never been a choice whether we go for legalization or not. And in the process, we did lose quite some members of our initial group because different tensions did arise and different ideals did clash. But yeah, we have coped with them so far quite successfully, in the sense that we're still here and we can do all these activities on a non-profit base. Well, if you try to start something like this, it always makes a lot of sense to have a very good contact with the neighborhood, because that's in the end where a lot of your strength will come from. And second of all, international networking can also, be useful to just share experience and share knowledge. As far as meetings go, if you try to do this as a collective, use facilitators, use structured meetings, just so that things, when emotions run high, that there's a structure to deal with it, because it's quite common that when pressure mounts, that these groups become, or group decision-making processes become very dysfunctional, and that's exactly when you need a facilitator to steer a group towards reaching conclusions and decisions rather than fall apart in fights and quarrels. And I think that's one of the most important things about working with other people in a non-hierarchical setting.
I think the way I became involved in squatting in general was in the beginning of the 90s, when I was young and I needed a home somewhere a little bit more in the center than the suburb where I lived. And so I squatted a place with a few friends in the center of Amsterdam. And from there on we were evicted quite fast then. By that time, it was the beginning of the 90s, I believe, 91. And when we were evicted, we started living in another squat. And so, within the years, I lived in a few places, and I ended up in a squat where I still live now, these days. And yeah, the Binnenpret is also a legalized squat, so I knew some people who were working there. There's a concert hall here, and I knew people who were working there, and there was a kitchen here where people could eat. And so slowly I came also around this place. Oh shit, yeah, this light sometimes does it in the beginning when it has to warm up. The different activities here are, I start with on the street side, there's a concert hall, and mainly alternative bands are playing there 2-3 times a week, and also children activities in the daytime are done there, like children disco or whatever. And then you have a number of spaces where people make music or art. And you have a place where you can eat vegetarian and veganist food. And then there is a place where you have a sauna, and you have a bicycle repairing place. That's I think about it. And then the artist spaces are divided in 2 practice spaces for bands. I think about between 10 and 15 bands practice here altogether. And some spaces for different kind of artists.
The whole complex we are fitting in is called Binnenpret. So that means some fun within yourself, and children, Kinderpret is like some fun with children. It's 10 years that I'm here, and so in the beginning I was helping out on Wednesdays, and now today I'm here most every day of the week. I'm doing programming, what will be every Wednesday. There is theater shows to program, and we do some disco, we do ourselves, some disco for children from 3 to 9 years. They can dance and dress and play around. And the third thing we also organize is workshops that they can learn, for example, how to make little films, or how to make circus, or how to make dancing, African dancing, things like this.
And I think always when people start their own activities, they start with the things they really need. And sometimes it's a place to come together, and sometimes it's a place for their kids, sometimes it's a place for practicing with bands. But I think it's people mostly make of a squad what they need, you know, and I think that's also the positive thing of squatting a place, you know. You don't have to wait for somebody who tells you what it's going to be, you know, like you can project your own ideas. In the past they mainly made an agreement with the city authorities that they were taking care of the maintenance and the place itself, and in exchange of that all the spaces were given away for 1 guilder, sort of symbolically, and it was a sort of contract for, I believe, 20 years. So in 10 years again people here have to negotiate with the city about the future. I haven't been here, I wasn't here when the place was still squatted, you know. I came after it was legalized. So about this place I can't tell much about the difference, but I know in general that of course when a squat becomes legalized, that means that you have to make compromises. In this place the compromises were quite easy to take in I think, because people here are more free to do it all by themselves. Nowadays you see squats that get legalized, and the demands on what they have to do in terms of making it fireproof, making it fit in all the rules and regulations. It's much harder these days. Yeah, we had like between 5 and 10 people, if I'm right, but I'm not really sure. People who were subsidized by the government, who were doing the bookkeeping, the maintenance, and the really important things that need to be done and need to be taken care of, and really specialized work, more or less. And with all there's a new government, really conservative, who is cutting budgets on social work. So in the future we have to do it all ourselves again, and I think that's the way how it started, this place, all by volunteers. So I think we are able to do it, but it will be more difficult than before. I can say that it's also true that when things are really difficult and when there is really a sort of when it's really a sort of challenge, it also motivates people sometimes to do more, even because they have to really fight for their place.
It is really nice that we have a whole group of people who used to come here when they were young, and they now all have kids, and they found like they're all volunteer now. It's 5 people who do this, and it's really nice because then it's you work together in a place you really know well from the late night things from before, but now you can just be in the same place, but you show your kids as well where you were, and it's totally different, but you make the same atmosphere actually, or the same ideals you can make with them. And I'm very happy that we found, or that we not found, but that they have kids now as well as we do, and that we are together here. that the importance of having these beautiful kids here it's really good to share your ideals with the kids, and that they know where you work and what you're doing then is already nice, but it's also very good to have them around, so that maybe these young people who are not used to children also can react, and when the night comes, the concert, people come in, the band people, and they see the children, they deal also with them, and they are interested in each other, sometimes they play with each other, so you get this mix more. And I really like it because it's, from both sides the children learn about, hey, the drums are coming in, can we play a bit? And they have something like, hey kids, well, it's not our audience, but what shall we do? And I think it's really good that it's also good for this place, that many different parents who may be not coming in the night, that they just come in the daytime and see some things.
I was working for a magazine that we have in Amsterdam, and it's about all the new buildings that have been squatted recently and the situations, their court cases, and doing every 2 weeks comics and making jokes about things that happened or failures, or like, because I always thought like, sometimes you have to also see things a little bit in a sort of perspective, like that, because sometimes you squat a place and everything goes wrong and you're out of the building in a week, and then sometimes you need to laugh about it a little bit. You can be angry at one time and then you do an action, but a few weeks after you also have to laugh about the situation, because you have to start again. You have to have a sort of optimistic vision to start squatting anyway.